Hey guys, long time no see. Welcome to another episode of my Makeup and Mimosas series. I'm gonna get my favorite drink and you're gonna get your favorite drink, and we are going to talk things beauty, makeup. And the topic for today is things that I've learned as a smaller beauty creator, because at this point I think I do have my credentials. I'm growing pretty slow at the moment. You know, you have your highs and then you have your lows, but that's just what it's like when you're trying to build like your own platform. I have a couple things I want to talk about, and I think what really triggered me to do a video like this is because recently I've been kind of in a little bit in this funk. I'm in this awkward time right now where I feel like I'm learning the good and the bad side of working with brands, whether that's paid partnerships or that's gifted. I feel like brands are okay with like playing with your emotions, but not like that. I don't know how to really say it, but we'll dive deep into that later on in the video. I just want to get started on like doing my makeup. Recently I have been trying the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Cream. It is a whipped rich ultra hydrating moisturizer, and it is supposed to relieve dry skin and eczema while also strengthening the skin surface barrier. And I specifically wanted a moisturizer like this because obviously what it says it does really sold me. I do feel like I have like the driest skin on earth. I've been using, this is the Inkey List Bright and Eye cream. I've barely started using it, so I don't really have like an opinion on it just yet. I've been trying to be consistent with it morning and nighttime, so maybe in my next video I'm gonna have like an opinion on it. Right now I kind of don't want to give an opinion on it because for me I'm looking for like long-term results, and it does say that it does brightening over time. It does feel good around the eye area. I haven't been using primer recently. I did some tape on my eyes because I kind of want to do like a sultry, like this vision of like how my eyeshadow. And today I also do want to talk about what is going on in the beauty world, the transition blushes that is going on. It's so crazy. I do want to try a transition blush, obviously, with what I already have. I've been seeing so many baby pink-ish transition blushes, and that's kind of like what I did the other day. But today I obviously want to make this the star of the show for my transition blush. This is the Morphe Cheek Thrills Cabana Club Trio Blush Trio, and I absolutely love the shade of this, so that's kind of like what I want to use for my transition blush. And my idea of transition blush, you obviously want colors that have like the same vibe to it, I guess. And so I'm also going to use the Prolux Cheeky Pear. This is in the shade Peach Crush. I feel like it kind of is about the same. And then because I'm a little crazy, I know these are really not the same, but I feel like it would just look so beautiful. I have this pink setting powder from About Face. This is in the shade Finale. And I do have the Morphe Jumbo Bacon Set in Brightening Pink. She's running out, but this is kind of like the same thing for like your under eyes, but this one is a little bit more pinky. The camera is not doing it justice. Right now I'm using the Makeup by Mario Master Blade Brow Pencil. This is in the shade Brown Black. I got this pencil and I've been using it, and I've been loving how my brows have been looking. I would say one of the first things I think you're going to notice, like a beauty creator trying to build their platform, is you're going to get followers on like TikTok and Instagram of similar people trying to do the same thing. But one thing about some of them is they only really want you to follow them back and engage with their content more than they care about your content. I've made some like friends over social media online because we all like, we're in the same industry, we're all trying to build a platform for ourselves, and some of them are genuine to this day. Like we still engage with each other's content and like each other's content, but every now and then you're going to get some people that are going to just follow you and hype you up, and then they're just going to unfollow you, and then you're going to be left there hyping them up, and then the whole time you're like, wait, where are they at? And then boom, they've just unfollowed you. Who knows when. You really just can't let things like that get to you. I guess piece of advice that I've learned from that is not really that deep, but I think I have became more selective on who I follow back. Like if you are, you know, genuinely trying to build a platform for yourself, or all you're caring about is, oh, I'm posting this until I hit like 10K, and then you just don't really have like a niche, you don't really actually have like a passion for the content. I don't really know how to explain it. It doesn't really affect my journey, but you'll get girls that seem really nice over social media and then they unfollow you because they just wanted your follow and your engagement. I'm gonna start on the eyeshadow. I'm gonna start off with this Color Spell by Profusion eyeshadow palette. This is the Supernova palette, and I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. I didn't even explain what I'm drinking today. I made coffee this morning, and this is, I don't know what kind of grounds they were, but I did the grounds and I did a little bit of water to dissolve the grounds, and then I did some milk, and then I obviously added ice, and then I did like a hazelnut creamer, and then I did a little bit of brown sugar, but then I also did a lot of cinnamon. I love a lot of cinnamon, and that's what I'm drinking for today. My other cup, I just have like a big cup of ice water. I couldn't find my matching straw, so there's this one.
Hopefully I could think a little bit more clear.
Like me, I just like to try and like build like a community, especially with other creators that genuinely love like makeup, talking about it, and building their platform that way, versus like a bunch of the same videos about just trying to reach a certain follower account or something like that. I think that's, I don't know, to each their own, but that's what I think. I'm gonna go into the Juvia's Place, the Warrior 2 palette, and I'm gonna use this shade right here, and I'm gonna mainly keep this kind of like over here on my outer corner. Anyways, along the lines of like engagement still, I definitely want to talk about, obviously, when you're trying to build your platform, it's going to obviously be discouraging sometimes, because you're going to take like a lot of time to create like a makeup look. Or for me, I really try to be a little bit different and think of like videos that I really don't see that I would like to see. For example, Formula One teams wear makeup looks. Like I hardly ever see anything like that, and since obviously it is season, like I thought, you know, that would be really fun. Really have to see what's performing well and what is not. I do feel like tutorials and hair tutorials do get me a little bit more engagement and views. I just genuinely post kind of like what I want, regardless if you are following your analytics or not. I think no matter what outcome you get, consistency is still very important, and just realizing that it'll pay off in the end, because you know, sometimes you can be stuck in like a certain view count, and then you're just like, wow, I just spent like all day creating this video, to film it and then to edit it and then to post it. It's a lot, but you know, this is kind of like what you're signing up for, so don't like be too harsh on yourself. That's just kind of like what I try to tell myself. I'm going to take this shade from the same palette and then kind of still but keep it very precise, like right here. Morphe Gold Seeker palette. I'm going to use the shade Creme de la Creme. Hope I'm saying that right. It's this one right here. I want to get into like another topic, I guess, product launches, because I do feel like obviously when you're trying to build your platform, and all of this of course is all of my opinion, okay, this is like my experience, yours can be completely different. But one thing that I feel like I've gone through, again, not so much am I going through this anymore, but I definitely know there was a point in time when I feel like there were like product launches coming out every single day. And obviously there still is new things coming out every single day, but, and I feel like it could be super easy to want to like just buy everything. You can, and I'm not here to tell you that you can't. There are so many things that you could do to create your content without spending so much money, and just kind of using what you already have. For the longest time, I've focused more on like, oh, makeup looks and different lip combos, and just using what I have. And over time, I've built so much of like a bigger collection of like makeup and products that I'm at the point where like so many of my makeup that I use every day, it was sent to me, it's free. Like this was free, these bronzers and blushes were free, this eyeshadow palette was free, I have so many brushes that were sent to me for free. Like if you just start somewhere and use what you have. There's some purchases that I did make to make my content, and that definitely does help. But I do think that if you feel like you have to spend so much money on like all the newest things, you really don't have to. You could reshare their posts, and then the brands are going to notice you, and then if they like your content, they're going to reach out. Or even sometimes you could shoot your shot in the DMs and just see what that can give you, because a lot of times a lot of brands are willing to gift you things if they notice like your consistency and like your drive for the content. I kind of want to work on the little liner right here, so I'm just gonna go back into this Morphe palette. I'm gonna use the shade Dark Money. Very careful. So I pretty much just did a little bit of gel liner here, and then I just kind of blended it out. I'm gonna do my lashes really fast. I also mixed a little bit of this shade down here, Have Your Cake, and then I did mix a little bit of this shade right here from the Supernova palette by Color Spell and Profusion. now I'm done with my eyes for now. I used the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. This is in the shade Light Warm. And we're just gonna talk about brands and like gifts, brand partnerships, my experience so far. I'm going to be doing my bronzer. I'm going to be using the Prolux Double Bronze. This is in the shade Mocha Terra. First and foremost, obviously as a smaller creator, I think you are already like kind of hard on yourself. And something I kind of want to touch on is I think that especially right now, in the beginning of this video, I did mention that I kind of did feel like I'm in this era where brands are kind of like getting my hopes up high. If not, like maybe I'm just learning that this is just how some brands are. Like they suck at communication. I don't really know who's behind these brands, but I'm not really going to mention any names yet, but I kind of just wanted to mention that recently I have been having more than not these kinds of situations where a brand will reach out about an opportunity, whether it's for paid or it's just for a gift, and it's just to create content on the product. I don't know if they're second guessing themselves, if they even want to proceed with a smaller creator like me. That's kind of like how I'm feeling, because recently I've just been getting these opportunities and then I'm like, yes, of course, like let's go through with it, and then it's like a change of heart, but they're not communicating that because I'm getting like no response afterwards. Like why would you even reach out in the first place? And I don't know if it's a change of heart or there was this one specific paid partnership that I just had, and everything was fine and dandy. I agreed to everything, and this usually for any paid partnerships that I have, I do always want a contract in place because for the specific reason. But for this one, I was kind of like, I think I was a little bit too excited to where I was like, it's okay if there's like no contract in place, let's just go through with it. So I didn't even bother like asking for one, but from now on I definitely will be asking for some because of this reason. So pause. I'm gonna get into my transition blush, just kind of focus on like what I'm doing. So I'm not really gonna talk through on how to do it, FYI, because I want to finish talking about what I'm talking about. I had this brand reach out and I was super excited to go ahead and go through with it, and I agreed to everything. Again, there was no contract in place. This is all just word of mouth, like, or text over email. And I was like, okay, so we had like a set, like they sent out the product and everything, and we had a set amount or agreement on like how much they were going to pay me for the content. And this content wasn't going to be on, there was no requirement to post this content on my page, but it was more so for their page. And they gave me the breakdown, what they're going to send over and what they want from me, and the total amount of how much they're going to pay me. And I thought that was cool. Okay, so what, like, agree to it. And I could of course optionally post it to my account too, which of course I'm gonna post it to my account. They did attach like an inspo if you wanted to follow. There was no mandatory, oh, must be like our inspo. Since I received the product, I also received a separate email that I'm assuming that they sent to all the creators that is going to be in on this partnership, because it was like a general email to like you guys, you know what I mean? And it was just a reminder they want a little bit more creative freedom. They wanted to be kind of just like you, but using the product, you know? So I'm like, okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna be myself. They're wanting to work with me, who is a beauty content creator. So I'm gonna do my best to try and like execute a beauty, you know, just me using the product, whatever. Long story short, I do it. I take so much time and effort to give them what they want. I actually gave them triple content that they were wanting, more than what they were wanting, just because I wanted them to have like options to pick from. Out of everything that I gave them, which was triple the amount of content that they actually were requesting, but I gave them options to choose from, they only liked one thing. When everything was all said and done, they shorted me, if that makes sense. And I didn't realize that until later on, like after I even replied to that email of them being like, oh, we only like this one, the rest of what you sent isn't what we're looking for. In the moment I replied and everything, and I was like, okay, you know, I was kind of like taking the blame. I was like, okay, you know, I understand, you know, whatever, blah blah blah. But later on when I talked to my boyfriend about it, and he was like, that's not right, because like they originally told you that this is what they were like, they were going to take this much content from you and pay you this much. Like that was like the minimum agreement, you know? but then they saw what I did and then they just decided to just use one and they paid me for one. You know, one of those situations where it's like I just feel like maybe because I am a smaller creator, I started feeling like, is it because I'm a smaller creator? I have no idea. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just a brand like that gave me that experience, and not all brands are like that, but I definitely feel like obviously there has to be more brands like that, and I shouldn't just take all the blame for it, like, oh, I made bad content and they didn't like it. It was, you know, I think the learning lesson from that is just obviously have contracts put in place, like something a little bit more like for certain, versus like a brand just trying to communicate with you over email and then obviously change of heart last second. Because obviously that was like time and effort that I put into brainstorming the ideas that I had for them and the content, editing it, when I could have been doing that for another brand that was like a little bit more genuine and pure about their intentions. If they wanted to only just choose one piece of content from what they were originally asking from, then they should have mentioned that in the original email versus, oh, this is the minimum, like this is what we're gonna do and pay you, you know? I don't know. Hope I'm making sense. There's been a few other brands that will reach out and then they'll just be like, oh, this is like an opportunity, you know, whatever, and then you just don't hear back from them. And I think that's just kind of, it sucks. Like sometimes I think like, oh, if I were like Jaclyn Hill, then like they wouldn't even be playing with me like that. Like they're gonna want to jump the gun like as soon as they can because they got me to reply, you know? I think it might just be me maybe overthinking it sometimes. I'm gonna go in with the Morphe Cheek Thrills. But at the end of the day, you know, there's gonna be moments like that where like you feel like sometimes am I being taken advantage of? And I think you just gotta just keep moving forward and just take it day by day, I guess. I don't know. My boyfriend always reminds me to take it with a grain of salt, or like a grain of salt, however you say it. I don't know. Another thing, I think when it comes to like money and these brands, one thing I'm realizing is, especially, I don't know if it's like this when they work with bigger creators too. I have this brand partnership that I just wrapped up and we didn't have a contract in place until after I finished everything, and then now they send me a contract for how much they're gonna pay me, which nothing changed. Like the partnership and everything is still in good standing and everything. I had bigger partnerships in the past where like obviously I know when I'm gonna get the money, like more of like a time frame, and we have a contract before I even start filming, before they even send the product out or anything like that. Trying to like not be so like picky, I guess. Like, I mean, because there's been other paid partnerships where I don't see the money for like a month or two after. For example, this one partnership was like a really big brand, and so far to this day it's like the biggest brand that I've worked with to this day, and it was an amazing partnership. It was so much fun and everything, and the amount of money that they were going to pay me I didn't get for about a month and a half to 2 months, I think it was. I honestly don't remember. But and that was okay because hey, they told me in the contract before I even started anything, like this is going to be like the time frame that you could get the money. And with this other brand that I'm talking about, like where I got the contract like after, and they're not as clear as when they're gonna send the money over. I've worked with them before too, and I remember the first time I ever had a paid partnership with them before in the past, I had to keep emailing and following up so many times because they were just like not getting back to me day after day, day after day, day after day. And I'm just like, I don't know why when it comes to payment, like some brands I've noticed, I don't know if they're trying to figure out like, I don't know what it's like on their side. It's fine if like they have to go through like approvals and I don't know, things with fiscal, and I don't know how their things work, but for me, I think I just appreciate communication so much. And that's kind of like what bugs me is like, don't go MIA when it's time to pay up, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that's gonna be like a constant thing that's gonna be like that forever, if similar creators, even bigger creators, deal with that. But my point is I don't hear these things. You don't hear these things from other creators, you know, it's all like private. So I'm sharing it. Overall, I'm just very grateful to even have the opportunities that I get, but there's always the other side of it that's like not all sunshine and rainbows. For my powder blushes, I'm gonna kind of do a mixture of both of these. So the Cabana Club and then the ColourPop Prairie Air. I swear I've been using this for I don't even know how long. Kind of bring this one like underneath the eye, I'm literally gonna use the same exact brush to kind of keep it up high on my cheekbones right here. So this is the glam that I came up with for today's video, and I think that's pretty much a gist of some talking points that I wanted to go over. Obviously that is, I think, just a small portion of what it's like to really try to build a platform for yourself, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more that I'm going to learn. I have a lot to learn from, and I'm super excited to see what the future holds. Let me know if you, as a beauty creator, even just any type of creator where you do work with brands, where you do get gifted things from brands, or even just you and yourself and your content, how you feel about yourself. You know, sometimes we are our biggest like critiques, so I think that like sometimes we just need to be reminded that we are all doing amazing and there's always room for growth. The best thing is that we are all just starting from somewhere and just trying to build something. That alone is like amazing. I love the way my makeup came out and how I did kind of like a transition blush using one of my favorite blushes from Morphe. So yeah, if you do not follow my TikTok, my Instagram, please follow that as well. I do post there daily. I try to be more active on my shorts on here, but I definitely need to push out a bit more long form YouTube videos. I have some ideas that I have written down that I cannot wait to execute. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something, maybe, you know, you just don't feel as alone. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.